You're watching weekly free tutorials with acrylic artist and instructor Joni Young. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you step by step how to paint this pretty winter scene using lots of pastel colors and tones, a few brushes, and we're painting on a 9x12 double primed stretch canvas. And I'm also priming first with some acrylic gesso. So it's really important to do that. Don't miss that step. And I'm going to post all the colors and brushes, supplies in the description box below. And while you're checking that out, don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't yet already. If you're new to my channel, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that we're going to do is take some acrylic gesso and prime the canvas with one coat of it evenly, using a medium-sized flat brush, and then we're just going to set it aside and let it dry for a little bit. So I like to shake it up first and then just pour a little bit out directly onto the canvas. Try to coat it as evenly as you can. After you let it dry, check and see if there's any little lumps on it that you might have to sand off. So the first color we're using today is neon pink. Now if you don't have hot pink, any light pink will do. So we'll squeeze a little bit of that out. The next color we'll be using is titanium white. Taking a small flat brush, I'm going to start blending the pink around the top of the canvas and leaving one area bare for our sun that we're going to be adding some yellow to. So pulling gently back and forth, blending it all around. We'll take a little bit of neon yellow now. If you don't have neon yellow, any light pastel yellow will do. I'm going to dust lightly over part of the pink so that it creates a light peachy shade. I'm pulling a little bit of the white in with the yellow as well, and I'm going to blend some down on the bottom to make it look like the reflection of the sun is hitting and casting down on the fresh snow. The next thing I'm going to do is take straight neon pink and start pulling across the bottom for our snowbank, and a little bit along the edge of the canvas in the sky as well. Okay, the next color we'll be using is light ultramarine blue. Now if you don't have this shade, you can just take ultramarine blue and white and mix them together. We'll be using a medium-sized mop brush. You want to tap it lightly into the white and the blue and have it only on the ends of your brush, and then we're going to start dusting small circles at the top of the canvas to create some clouds and some shadows. Now what this does is create a bit of an airbrushed look, and it makes the sky look really soft. We'll take a little bit more of the white now and continue to do that on the right side. More white where you want those clouds to be just a little bit lighter, and more blue where you want more shadow. And we'll add a few little ones in and around that sun. Barely touching the canvas. And let's add some to the bottom where the snow is. Now we'll take a little bit of the pink, a bit more blue and white, and lightly flick and pull little bits of grass poking through all that snow. The next brush I'm going to choose is a mini fan brush. Pull into the white and a little bit of the blue. Blend well, and let's start pulling and flicking a little bit of highlights on some of these clouds. This is a great brush for adding detail on your clouds and making them look wispy and soft. I'm just softening some of the excess paint off. I'm going to take a little bit more white and paint a few more small clouds here and there, and then we're going to come in with some more neon yellow and build up the sun a bit more, the color a bit more, and the highlights on the snow in the foreground. With a clean brush, take some yellow, a little bit of white, and just add a little bit more light on the bottom and around the sun. Now pull into the blue, load both sides, as well as the pink, and let's line our brush up, press, pull, and flick up lightly on an angle. For a dramatic effect, we're going to put our trees on an angle. So just turn your brush and pull diagonally, very gently, starting with the tree trunk, and then the corner of your brush for those baby branches at the top, and then you're going to begin tapping lightly using the full width of your brush for those branches. Don't forget to reload your brush each time. And remember to leave a few spaces in between. Okay, beginning our next tree, this one's going to be on an angle again, and it's going to be slightly smaller. We want all our trees to be a different size. So for a smaller tree, you're going to use less of the brush. You can use the corner for most of the tree, and then you can use the full width of the brush for the bottom of the tree. I'm just going to add a few more little branches at the very top of the tree, and then redefine the tree trunk and a few of the other branches. I want to make sure that I have enough shadow and dark base for my snow to show up well later on. And then we'll switch over to the left side. Now this time we're going to do some trees that are straight up and down, and we'll put just a couple on an angle. We're going to do short little flicks to make it look like there's trees way off in the distance. So you just do short little pulls and flicks carefully, and then a few long lines for the tree trunks. Again, a few on the angle, and then a couple that are going to be a little bit straighter. And use that corner of the brush for the smaller ones, and then gradually turn your brush to use the full width of it for those larger branches. And if you have a little bit more blue in your trees or a little bit more pink, that's fine. It doesn't have to be the exact same color throughout, just as long as it's going to be dark enough for your snow to show up. I'm just going to start doing a little highlight of the snow on the bottom here. And I'm taking a little bit of white and a little bit of blue for this, just dusting back and forth lightly here and there. Make sure you don't overblend. And what I love about this painting that we're working on today is all the soft, pretty shades and tones. I love working with pastels and also the neons, incorporating it with the white to create those soft colors. I'm just going to add a little bit more blue to some of these branches just to change up the color and add a little bit more. Now, as I'm working on this painting, it's got me thinking about my Christmas tree ornaments that I'm going to be doing a tutorial for you guys very soon. I've got a few landscapes in mind that we're going to do. I'll probably do 2 different ornaments for you guys. So we're going to be painting a landscape on each ornament, and I'm going to show you how to apply the paint on a round, smooth surface, how to seal the ornaments, add glitter, and personalize them so you can make them as gifts for friends and family. And I'm going to take a clean, medium-sized, small to medium-sized filbert brush, hot pink, and come in with the base of the trees in the background just for a nice pop of color. And then I'm just going to flick up a bit of that color in between the trees and behind them. So I'm taking some of the pink and some of the white, blending it gently together, pushing that paint so that it's on the tip, the very edge of that brush. And I'm going to start tapping very lightly, leaving some spaces in between. But I think I'll just let that dry for a little bit and add some more color and highlights to the foreground. So adding neon yellow and a little bit of white. You can just pull in some little lines. Create some more little highlights there where that sun is just glistening down and hitting parts of the snow. So time to go back to this tree now and redo the base. Simply just take some blue and white and tap lightly over top. You can still see a bit of that pink back there. And I just decide here that I want this tree to be a little bit taller. Okay, now for the fun part, we're going to add the snow. So just take some white and a little bit of blue, blend it well, and make sure it's on the edge of your brush and begin tapping lightly on each branch, leaving some spaces in between. And you're going to continue to do this on each of the trees. Once that paint sets in and dries slightly, we'll take more white and we'll add some highlights where we want it to be brighter where the sun's hitting it. I think winter is one of the most enjoyable seasons to paint. I find it so cozy and comforting just painting snow, pretty pastel snowy scenes. Adding a little bit more here and there where I want the snow to look thicker or brighter. I love making those branches look like the snow is so heavy on them, it's just weighing the branch down. So if you want to make it look like there's lots of snow on a branch, you'll push a little bit harder with your brush. Then you can also make some of the branches look like there's maybe just a little bit of snow or even a little bit of frost on there by using the tip of the brush only. Now you could use a fan brush for adding the snow as well. I'm just scumbling out the rest of the white that was in my brush very lightly over some of these clouds. And what I notice happens is wherever there's a little bit of yellow and the blue and the white are together, they overlap and create a really soft minty green color. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do is paint a little crescent moon in the top right corner of the painting. I always like to add a little bit of whimsy to my paintings wherever I can. I'm using the filbert brush for this. A little bit of white on the tip of my brush. Carefully add a little moon. There we go. I just think that looks so magical. I love it. Now, as I was filming this video today, my shop was open to the public. It was the third day of the long Thanksgiving weekend here in Gabriola Island and the big studio tour. It was a fabulous weekend. I'll never forget it. I made my dream come true of opening up my own studio and gallery. I had close to 500 people come by, combined in the 3 days that I was open. It was pretty amazing, and I just want to thank each and every one of you for coming. I hope you all have enjoyed this tutorial today and inspired to paint this yourselves. Happy painting, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.